Hello there, good evening to you and welcome to News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. Let's take a look at our top stories. The Lands Minister lays before Parliament a new lithium deal with no fixed royalty for the state after a pushback against the earlier deal which allocated 5% royalty to the state. The minority, however, believes this is not the best for the country.
We don't need Einstein to come and tell you that the whole thing smells. There is something wrong somewhere. There is something fishy.
Also, chairman of the NPP's Presidential Elections Committee warns against the use of private security at voting centres as the party gears for its January 31 flag-bearer elections.
Only the Ghana Police Service have been granted exclusive jurisdiction over the D-Day election security.
And in business, Cocoa Board CEO reveals it's yet to meet the 333,000 tons forward sales agreement made in 2023.
Cocoa Board, a ton cocoa $2,600 per ton.
Board scheme doesn't take into consideration current and relevant industry challenges.
Right. This is what I want. I want them to pay attention to our industry so that next year when films are being submitted, Ghana would win what I wanted. How can Nigeria take the car?
And later, shelters in Burundi overwhelmed as growing number of people flee their homes amid escalating violence in the DRC. I'll be bringing you details of the story and more. Please stay with me. Coming to you live from the Platinum Place here in Accra and across the world via the power of technology. We start off with some politics. And the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, is gearing for a fiercely contested presidential primary with 214,812 delegates expected to cast their ballot in the flag-bearer election scheduled for January 31, 2026. Chairman of the Presidential Elections Committee, GHOne, has raised concerns about possible deployment of private security by aspirants at voting centres. Speaking at a meeting with leadership of security agencies at the police headquarters in Accra, Mr. Osei appealed to the IGP to deploy adequate number of armed officers to all voting centres to secure the entire process. He stressed that a strong police presence would help maintain order and deter any attempt to introduce private or unauthorized security at polling stations.
We have informed all party faithfuls, sympathizers, stakeholders, competitors as the presidential aspirants, and the public that only the Ghana Police Service have been granted exclusive jurisdiction over the D-Day election security. Nobody else, no group else, no private or unauthorized security arrangements will be permitted at any voting center. Access to voting areas will be restricted to delegates, accredited presidential aspirant agents, electoral officials. All other individuals will be required to remain outside the designated security perimeters. The stakeholders are therefore urged to abide by the rules and regulations governing the electoral process.
So that's Joseph Osei with the NPP there. Now let's engage a security analyst, Mr. Samuel Appiah. Grateful for your time this evening, sir. And we've been following keenly the internal contest for the NPP's presidential aspirant elections. It's been, for lack of a better expression, quite fierce at certain points, with some stalwarts coming at each other's neck over who deserves to lead the party and all. With what you have observed so far, do you nurse the same fears that if the police does not present or deploy heavy security on that day, we may have a situation on our hands? Hello, Mr. Appiah. Hello, Mr. Apia, can you hear me? Well, we've been trying to engage a security analyst, Samuel Apia, for his thoughts on what you just heard.
I can hear you now.
All right, you can hear me. I'm grateful. Did you catch my question, please?
Yes, I did hear what you asked me. And good evening to your listeners and viewers. I must say that, yes, the context has been very much intense. And, I mean, getting to January and 31st, there's a possibility of any of these aspirants trying to spring out of surprises as far as security is concerned. And so it is in the proper context to hear and see that the committee chairman of the election is, requesting that the Inspector General of Police should be able to deploy adequate security personnel and the logistics that is needed. It is not far from one anticipating the potential of an aspirant thinking to bring in some sort of private security to, as it were, do his or her bidding. But I think that the police presence, if well, visibly and with the force it requires on the grounds, I am firmly, without no doubt, that they will be able to discharge whatever they're supposed to do creditably, and at the end of the day, we shall have a peaceful election. So the police is capable, I must say, given the number of polling stations they are going to have. And if you look at every constituency or every district, the number of police personnel over there, I don't think there should be anything overwhelming as far as security arrangement is concerned.
So beyond the call for adequate deployment of the police and a warning to candidates not to present private security to the area, quickly, what measures should be put in place even before the D-Day to ensure that we don't have violence erupting on that January 31?
Well, I think one significant thing that the election committee and also the party security committee has done is to meet the IGP and other security agencies head to put together a very formidable force for the processes during and after. And so all the stakeholders or the aspirants have been given the necessary caution and advice that we're going to have internal elections. We don't want to break the funds of the party. And therefore, you need to respect every arrangement put in place by the security. Now, the police will also have to have standby, men that are adequately armed so that in the event of anybody trying to break their fronts, they will be able to confront and then neutralize the situation very, very well. And so I believe these are the signals that must be sent. I believe the IGP and the police will also issue a statement and advise or caution all the stakeholders to make sure that they abide by the measures that will be rolled out by the police administration. Therefore, if you attempt to break their fronts, definitely they will deal with you as it's required by law.
I'm grateful for your time this evening, Mr. Apia. Samuel Apia is a security analyst sharing his thoughts with us ahead of the crucial January 31 elections, where the NPP delegates go to the polls to select who their flag bearer will be. And here we will be following up and bringing you all the details and building up to that particular event. Away from that, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, has laid before Parliament a new lithium agreement with no fixed royalty rate. This follows an earlier withdrawal of the bill for further engagement with stakeholders last week. The previous Barari DV lithium deal was rejected by the minority and other CSOs for the 5% royalty allocated the country. According to the Lands Minister, the new agreement has a sliding scale, which means the rates could rise to 12% or more, or could be lower based on market prices. He says there'll be 1% of gross proceeds dedicated to the mining communities. He said this when he engaged the media a while ago in Parliament.
Good leadership is about. Having listened to all of them and made a decision that we needed to withdraw the lithium agreement so we could strengthen it. Today, I'm happy that I came back to Parliament, not only with the lithium agreement, but with an elaborate regulations on lithium. The history of royalties in the country has been a very checkered one. We started off with 2173. We came back to a lithium agreement that says that the royalty will be between 3% and 6%. Then we changed it in another royalty amendment and said that it will be 5% across board. Then we did another amendment and said that the royalty will not be fixed, but it will be prescribed by law. And when Parliament says that it will be prescribed by law, that prescription must be provided. Unfortunately, there was no prescription. So the guidelines that will guide the prescription to determine that in this negotiation, the price of lithium will be 3 to 5 or 5% was not in place. So I'm proud to say that I have brought an elaborate regulation that gives us a sliding scale agreement. What is the advantage in that? The advantage is that it allows the state to capture the benefit in good times.
While the ranking member on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee in Parliament, GHOne Sapo, is having none of this, he argues that the deal undermines the public's interest and weakens confidence in the country's resource governance framework.
The minister gave the assurance that the LI will improve the framework and enhance the financial returns to the state. So we have been very expectant to see something juicy come out from the LI and the subsequent agreement that will be laid. But in 2023, it was 2,250. Agreed. But at the time that you came, you brought it here. The price has come down to 800. And the lithium company was prepared to do business at 10% royalty. Now, despite this sharp decline, Barari and the global prices, Barari DV was prepared to proceed with the 10% arrangement. Today, with lithium prices having recovered to around 1,200 per ton, the justification for reducing Ghana's effective benefit to 5% becomes less defensible. 800, the same company was prepared to do business at 10%. Today it's 1,200, and you are telling us the people, the company says they are not prepared to do business at a 10%, and that you are halving it to 5%. You don't need Einstein to come and tell you that the whole thing smells. There is something wrong somewhere. There is something fishy.
You're watching News Tonight with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lancer. The National Coordinator of the District Road Improvement Program, DRIP, Edwin Nilante-Vanderpoy, has cautioned MMDCs against failing to utilize equipment to make roads motorable in their areas. According to him, any MMDCE who doesn't leverage the availability of the machinery to improve road conditions does not deserve to remain in office. He said this when he took a visit to the Eastern region.
National Coordinator of the District Road Improvement Programme, DRIP, Edwin Nilante-Vanderpoy, says many MMDCEs are not leveraging the resources to improve roads in their jurisdiction. Nilante-Vanderpoy warned MMDCEs that failure to fully utilise the DRIP equipment within the 4-year mandate would be unacceptable, adding that performance on road maintenance should be a key determinant for retaining district chief executives. Touching on funding challenges, the DRIP coordinator acknowledged some difficulties with the Common Fund formula in 2025, but expressed optimism that the situation would improve in 2026.
I am just encouraging them to understand that sometimes you can take immediate measures by using the DRIP equipment to improve upon the roads until contract is awarded for a main contractor to come on that road. If the potholes are just too many, you have equipment. Just get some gravel, get your labor, and then fill those potholes so that the road become motorable. When contract is awarded for a contractor to come and redo the road, to all of us are credit. But if you sit down and allow the road to deteriorate more than it is, it will affect the people in the community. The people will not be happy, and they will not be happy with you, the DCE, and they will not be happy with the government.
The Eastern Regional Minister, Rita Akosia-Ajay-Awate, acknowledged the poor state of roads, especially in rural communities, and added her voice to the need by assemblies to utilise the drip equipment to improve road networks to communities to ease burdens on commuters.
I have engaged the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ghana Highways Authority to prioritise critical feeder roads in the 2026 infrastructure plan, and their response has been so positive. Routine maintenance contracts have been awarded. Priority will be given to roads connecting markets and agricultural areas.
Omahene of Achim Kotoku, Osiadeyo Dr. Frimpong Mansell IV, urged the DRIP coordinator to involve chiefs and communities for effective mobilization.
Bring the communities in. Let us own your projects with the people, because at that time we can add with when the road is going to be patched by DRIP, and you think you bring us in as paramount chiefs, and we bring our people to back you, and because we know that they raise a little bit more money to support you, where do you think we will go? Do you think if we do this across the country, will NDC have any problems winning the elections? I like what you are doing.
Council of State member Evelyn Korang encouraged the MMDCEs to continue to strive for excellence to improve living standards of the people.
As we approach the end of the year, I encourage you to continue striving for excellence. Your efforts are making tangible difference in the lives of our people, and I urge you to keep pushing the boundaries.
The DRIP program, with 2,200 units of this machinery, motor graders, bulldozers, rollers, wheel loaders, water tankers, concrete mixers, among others, procured through the District Assembly Common Fund and distributed across 261 MMDAs, seeks to build a decentralized capacity for road maintenance and construction and create job opportunities.
Well, we've been joined by President of the Chamber of Local Governors, Dr. Richard Fiadomo, for a quick conversation on the minister or the head of DRIP's suggestion that if you fail to use the DRIP equipment, you must lose your office. That's what Mr. Lanthe Vanderpoel is saying. He's a DRIP coordinator, and I'm grateful for Mr. Fiadomo's time. Grateful for your time once again, Mr. Fiadomo. So, should we be associating the stay in office of an MMDCE to the use of DRIP equipment?
Thank you very much. For me, I don't think that the DRIP coordinator has the right to make that particular point. It's not the appointing authority of MMDCE to be making that call. In any case, those DRIP equipment, they are not, or they do not fully belong to the Assembly as we speak. So the Chief Executive will have 100% control over those equipment. Today, as we speak, many of those equipment are coded, and if you want to move them, you need Plan 2 to come and move the code before you can move some of those equipment. So it is for me most unfortunate that the coordinator, the DRIP National Coordinator, to say that MMDCs cannot say it is not the equipment. They do not have full control, and they must ensure that in any case, the DRIP equipment and the DRIP National DRIP Coordinator, he has appointed coordinators of DRIP in all the MMDs in the country. So if the equipment are not being deployed, it is his officers who seem to be in office, not the MMDC.
Right, but we've seen stories in the past about the DRIP equipment being allegedly used for illegal mining purposes. Beyond using the equipment itself, how do we ensure that it's used for the right purpose?
You see, the truth of the matter is that we were told that district road improvement program. So internal roads, inner roads, and other places that need normal building, that do not need equipment work, those are the areas that the equipment is supposed to be deployed. these equipment are not politically in the position to contract roads. So if you want to do it between work and all those things, these equipment cannot do. So it was merely to create a motorable roads so that they become motorable for certain people before the assembly will award a contract for those roads to be constructed. But going forward, what we are seeing is that many of the assemblies, because they do not have that kind of rules and other things for the work to be done, many of the equipment are sitting idle. It is also the case that the equipment, as we see them, they are only being stationed at the assemblies, but the assemblies do not have control. So if you have a big coordinator at a distance, and then that equipment is seen on the landscape side, then the first person who should be questioned should be the grid coordinator, not the chief executive for Christ's sake. So if we have officers who are at the assembly, we have urban roads engineers, people who have gone to go and invest in the science and technology and other polytechnics who have been trained to handle this equipment are sitting at the assembly, yet we have appointed grid coordinators who some of whom do not even have any engineering background. They are the people who are supposed to be looking after this equipment. We also have the case where the drip is not properly decentralized. If the equipment is with the assembly, why does he have to take the national coordinator to be telling assembly to use the equipment or not?
Right.
It also tells you that when we talk about proper decentralization, we are still centralizing the drip equipment. So somebody takes Accra and give orders. For example, there's a chief executive sitting in his or her district who is supposed to be giving orders, but they do not have the power to do so. So for me, I think that this whole thing of drip has been centralized. That is why we are seeing what we are seeing. It shouldn't take the national coordinator to be telling chief executives whether to stay in office or not, whether they use their equipment or not.
I'm grateful for your time this evening, and that's Dr. Richard Fiadomo. He is the president of the Chamber of Local Governance, sharing his thoughts with us on the call by the National DRIP Coordinator to MMDCEs who refuse to use the DRIP equipment, and he's cautioned that they are likely to lose their positions if they do not use it for the right purposes. You're watching News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. More stories after these messages.
Hello? Hello, Auntie Abena. You won't believe what just happened. Grandma received her
Thank you for staying on News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. So let's do some other stories now. President John Dramani Mahama has cut sword for the official commencement of the Whole Oxygen City Housing Project. The project in the Volta region marks the beginning of another transformative development of Whole, in particular in the Volta region in general. The flagship urban development initiative being undertaken in collaboration with the Whole Municipal Assembly and the Tema Development Corporation is expected to become the biggest gated community in the country. Benjamin Bakafui brings us more.
The president was not only given another rousing welcome to the Volta region, but also hailed by many residents of the region for the landmark initiative by his government. Described as Ghana's biggest gated community project, the Oxygen City will feature modern residential areas, commercial spaces, a golf course, and leisure facilities, amongst several others. The project is a key pillar of the 24-hour economy designed to boost local job creation, attract investment, and also expand the Volta region's economic base in all spheres. The initiative forms part of TDC's expanded mandate to extend beyond the Tema enclave and spur large-scale development across Ghana. The project is being executed on some 1,860 acres of land around the whole airport enclave, with the layouts already completed, with service plots for residential, industrial, health and tourism purposes.
This project, for which we are cutting sword today, will consist of multi-story apartments in the configuration of 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments. There will be streets, street lights, proper drainage and sewage system. There will be water and electricity utilities all provided. This project will have a PPP aspect to it. Part of the land is allocated for the private sector to build a 4-star hotel. There will be a world-class hospital, and my understanding is Togbi Apede has already initiated moves to bring investors to build a first-class hospital in Oxygen City.
President Mahama emphasized that the Volta region's rich green landscape and natural environment are invaluable assets that must be protected even as development accelerates.
The facility will also have a food and entertainment center. The entertainment center would include places of recreation. It will also have a place for educational institutions. From kindergarten, those who want to set up kindergartens, junior high schools, secondary schools, there will be a space allocated for first-class educational institutions. There will be a market.
President Mahama said the Oxygen City project is designed to balance modern urban infrastructure with eco-friendly planning, ensuring that development does not come at the expense of environmental preservation.
Today we are planting more than just foundations for buildings. We are planting hope, we are planting opportunity, we are planting confidence in what Ghana can achieve when clear vision is matched with decisive action.
Benjamin Makafui-Atipo, GHOne News. Whole.
Now, the programs manager of the Foundation for Security and Development in Africa, Foster Solomon Okai, is calling on government to honor its education, skills development and employment promises to Ghana's youth. According to him, despite campaign pledges by the NDC to deliver 104 youth-focused initiatives within its first 120 days in office, only 9 have been implemented so far. He was speaking at a youth accountability forum in Accra.
Young people are the main beneficiaries of public education, skills development, and employment programs, which are critical to national development. However, youth activism on key welfare issues remain low due to disunity and weak coordination. To address this, the Ghana Youth Manifesto Coalition organized a youth accountability forum under the theme tracking commitments and shaping tomorrow, bringing stakeholders together to examine challenges facing youth development. Speaking to the media, the programs manager for the Foundation for Security and Development in Africa, Solomon Okai, called for continuous monitoring of government's commitment to the youth.
It's not enough to organize an accountability forum. It is not enough to bring young people around. What we have to continuously do is to hold government to account critically based on their own promises and what they have set out to do. And so organizing these annual forums is one of the things we are going to do going forward. And then generating this paper to ensure that there's critical analysis of what has been complete. The promises that we have identified to be complete, we have to critically analyze it to see how inclusive it is and how actually it is delivering development.
The Executive Director of Human Rights Reporters, Dr. Joseph Kobla Wemako, also urged government to fulfill its youth-centered promises.
I can say that based upon the presentation that went on, show that the government has really started something, but in all we can say that they have a long way to go. We can say that some people argue out that it's too early to start maybe pointing, accusing fingers at the government, but I wouldn't say it is too early. They are making some stride, but they need to move forward. They need to ensure that all the things that they have set to do as far as the manifesto promise is concerned is achieved holistically so that we can achieve that development and empowerment that we all aim to achieve for the youth.
According to the Ghana Youth Manifesto Coalition, the forum is to influence policy decisions by amplifying the voices of the youth. Jennifer Sapia's report for GHOne News.
Now, the Superintendent Minister of Calvary Methodist Church at Abraka, Very Reverend Joseph Maxwell Osei, has observed the national challenges, including environmental degradation, can be reversed through collective effort and moral responsibility. At a carol service held at the West Hills Mall, he urged Ghanaians to embrace the true spirit of Christmas by living without fear, fostering peace and compassion in society.
As Christians across the country mark the Christmas season, a message of hope, courage, and renewed faith is resonating beyond the church walls. At a carol service held at the West Hills Mall, religious leaders, including Superintendent Minister at the Calvary Methodist Church at Abraka, used the festive occasion to call for fearless living, compassionate leadership, and a return to Christian values, especially among the youth.
So I want to advise those in authority to how to deal with fear of the citizen, that each and every individual will live in this nation without fear of intimidation or whatever.
Very Reverend Joseph Maxwell Osei also urged Ghanaians to embrace collective effort and moral responsibility in dealing with national issues.
If the city has been able to go so high and we are all basking in whatever the government has so far been able to achieve, let us realize and accept the challenge that all things are possible. If you and I will join with the government to work it out, if we will stop galamsey and be bold enough, our rivers can come back to their natural state and everybody will be happy in this nation.
Meanwhile, the former principal of the Ophthalmic Nursing School at Kolebu, Stella Antwi Boesiako, used the platform to call on parents and the youth to live lives anchored in Christian values.
People who go on TikTok and say vulgar words, say things that are not in conformity with Christianity, or people nurture their children, and at the end of the day, they do things that 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time, they come back and say that they have regretted doing it. So we want to tell them that they should live their lives as Christians.
The service at the West Hills Mall, the first of its kind, attracted the participation of shoppers, shop owners and workers with a special focus on guiding the youth towards faith, purpose and prosperity.
Season of cheer and joy. You're watching news tonight here on GHOne television with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. We bring you business news now. In business news tonight, Cocoa Board CEO Dr. Randy Abbey has expressed concerns about the losses his outfit is still incurring due to forward sales of cocoa beans implemented by the previous NPP administration. According to him, despite the huge losses made during the last 18 months when the international market price was at its peak, government still has to find additional funds to buy more beans to make up for the unsupplied beans under the forward sale agreement. He made these comments when the national best cocoa farmer and some regional winners during the 2025 season paid a courtesy call on the Cocoa Board management. There's more in the following report.
Cocoa Board is yet to honor its full obligations of 333,000 tons of cocoa beans in forward sales to international buyers since 2023. This, according to the National Cocoa Management Body, continues to impact its operations negatively as government needs additional money to purchase more beans to meet the target. Here's Cocoa Board CEO Dr. Randy Abbey.
Some fasoni because Cocoa Board eton cocoa $2,600 per ton 2023. Our Cocoa Board and to me and deliver 333,000 tons. FOB declare $3,100. $3,100 for 24-25. That's that $3,100. No, what it means is that 1, 10,000, 9,000, 8,000. No, yenyebi. 2, anytime LBC for $3,100 for a ton of cocoa. No, see the comma or more 269 to me a mom. You call service here. Or say Cocoa Board epe $500. The
2025 National Best Cocoa Farmer, Edward Kwame Yeboah, who spoke to GHOne News on the sidelines of the meeting, vowed not to compromise his farmland for illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, stating that farming is more sustainable and rewarding compared to galamsey.
Looking at what I'm receiving from my cocoa farm, I will not give my cocoa farm to galamsey people. Why? Because they will destroy the farm, and I detest them. I don't want it at all. And I will advise the youth, those who involve themselves in galamsey, to stop it and then.
In some other business stories, as part of activities to mark its 20th anniversary, staff of Star Life Assurance have commissioned a mechanized borehole for Precious Feet International, a home dedicated to the care and support of children with disabilities at Nsawam. The borehole project, which is one of many highlights of Star Life's anniversary activities, is aimed at providing reliable and sustainable source of clean water for the home.
The project is expected to significantly improve hygiene, sanitation, and overall living conditions for the children and caregivers while reducing the challenges associated with access to potable water. Speaking at the commissioning, Chief Operations Officer of Star Life Assurance, Bernice, stated that access to clean water is essential, particularly for vulnerable groups, and aligns with the company's values of empathy and innovation.
The lives of these children is very, very important to us. They are part of our community as in the Ghanaian community. They have special needs. So their well-being is very important to us. So this is not being done lightly. This is not just the company initiative. It's also staff of Star Life who came together. They gave contributions to ensure that this happened. It's our 20th anniversary again. Our theme is Trust is Timeless. We've reached where we are right now because of the trust of our clients, trust of our partners, and also the trust of our staff.
In addition to the borehole, Star Life Assurance also donated a cash amount and food items, including bags of rice, gallons of oil, provisions, drinks, biscuits, and other items for the children's enjoyment during the Christmas season. Proprietress of Precious Feet International, Madam Louisa Enyonamansa, expressed her heartfelt gratitude to Star Life Assurance for the borehole and accompanying donations, describing them as timely interventions that will positively impact the lives of the children.
We will cook rice, share the drinks, and then make merry this Christmas so that they also will feel that they are part of the world. They will not see the difference between those who have families or not, since everything that every family will share with their kids and family, these children are going to get the same items.
The commissioning of the borehole follows an earlier visit by the Star Assurance Group, the parent company of Star Assurance, Star Life Assurance, Star Micro Insurance Services, Star Health, and Star Pensions Trust on Valentine's Day. During the visit, staff installed a new gate and made additional donations, including food items and cash support toward the children's school fees. The borehole commissioning stands as a key milestone in Star Life Assurance's 20th anniversary celebrations, reaffirming the company's commitment to sustainable community development and social impact.
Congratulations to Star Life once again on its 20th anniversary. Now, the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Jifa Gomashi, has praised the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, for setting a high standard in Ghana's hospitality industry. She said the hotel has consistently delivered quality service that meets international standards while promoting Ghana as a premium tourism destination. She was speaking at the hotel's 7th Employee Excellence Awards, which coincides with activities marking its 10th anniversary. Calvin Powell reports.
Established in 2015 in the heart of Accra, Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, has curated a timeless luxury experience in quality accommodation, delightful culinary offerings, and conference services, making it a business and lifestyle destination for guests from Ghana and beyond. Delivering the keynote address at the event in honor of its 10-year milestone, Tourism Minister Jifa Gomashi described the hotel as a reference point for luxury hospitality in the country.
Kempinski has become a benchmark for luxury hospitality in Ghana's tourism space. Beyond offering world-class accommodation, the hotel has cultivated a culture of excellence that ripples across the industry, raising expectations, improving service delivery, and demonstrating that Ghana is capable of meeting the highest international standards.
General Manager of the hotel, Sylvia Rajniak, said the blend of international standards with Ghanaian hospitality has driven the hotel's success over the past decade, with plans to improve further.
Kempinski is very well known for luxurious experience and delivering European luxury. So obviously we are trying to implement the European luxurious service, but combining with the Ghanaian hospitality. And it makes it a very natural and very lovely mix of the hospitality which the guests can experience in our country and in our hotel.
For her part, Director of Human Resources, Barbara Emisa, noted that staff development remains central to customer satisfaction, stressing her outfit's commitment to continuous training and motivation to drive operational excellence.
I believe that, we continue to improve every day on the services we deliver. Kempinski is very well aware of that, and that is why we have a dedicated training team motivation. Today is one of those. You can see from, the elegance of today's event, the attention to detail, the focus have been on the staff. They have been the backbone of the success of Kempinski. And when we organize events like this, it's to tell them that we see you, we appreciate you.
Some award-winning staff shared their appreciation for the recognition.
I've been here for 3 years now, and this award has been the top-notch award, very ultimate, a very envious one to say. And I'm very grateful having this today.
I never know that what I'm doing to bring me far. By grace of God, this is what I have now.
Management also honored pioneering staff with plaques and a 1-month salary bonus in recognition of their 10 years of service.
That'll be all for business news in this edition of News Tonight. We'll be back shortly.
Hello? Hello, Auntie Abena. You won't believe what just happened. Grandma received her 4 TVs. 4! 4 TVs? Yes, 4!
Okay, I'm coming. Go me there, boy. It's like a scandal now. You are using it to spread grandma like that.
Spread grandma?
4 TVs, 2 fridges, microwave. Abba, Kojo, why? Do you want to open an electrical shop for her?
Hey, no! It's a regular 100 cities I send her.
I'm sure it's Uncle Atu.
Let's call him.
Atu? Why?
Atu?
Why are you spreading a grandma with appliances? Why?
Me? Spread who? When? How? Please, it could be Amma.
Let's call Amma.
Let me call her.
Hello?
Amma, why?
What are you saying?
Appliances for grandma, no. Why?
Hey, it's not me, oh.
There are some that are critical.
Let's call grandma.
Let's call grandma.
Hello?
Hey, grandma. So who is buying all those stuff for you?
Call me Granny Cash. Grandma know the joke, the luckiest. If they do me 5 years. When I buy ticket 100 cities, I pay them small or big. I automatically...
And on GHOne tonight, Executive Director of the Regal Film Festival and Awards, Refa Selassie Ibrahim, has dispelled claims that her new award scheme doesn't take into consideration current and relevant industry challenges. According to her, the essence of Refa is to compel Ghanaian filmmakers to produce content that will rival film industries in other African countries and beyond. She spoke exclusively to Sewa Amehia.
Wanted Ghana to be the hub of African movies, where we can also get that attention. Right. In Nigeria, they have several awards and festivals. So when they travel, they invite them, they have something to argue about. What do we have? Nothing. So our industry is still there. But with this, if I tell you the emails I've even started receiving, I'm like, okay, so people are watching. Right. This is what I want. I want them to pay attention to our industry so that next year when films are being submitted, Ghana would win what I wanted. How can Nigeria take the car?
Nigerians took the car.
They took the car.
So then you admit that there's a problem with our movie industry.
That is why I'm doing this. Because there's a problem, that's why I'm doing this. If you listen to me initially, I said there was a vacuum. Right. That's why I instituted these awards.
That'll be all for GHOne. Up next is international news. Now, a growing number of people are being forced to flee their homes and seek refuge across the border in Burundi as violence in the eastern DRC escalates. According to the UN, more than 80,000 people have crossed from the DRC's South Kivu since the start of December, bringing the total now to more than 200,000 displaced people. Aid workers say they're struggling to cope with so many new arrivals. Transit centers in Burundi have far surpassed capacity in some cases by nearly 200%. That'll be all for news tonight. There's more news when you log on to starfm.com.gh. We are also very active on social media. We are GHOne Television. My name is Bernice, Abu-Baidoo, and from my entire team, we wish you the very best of the Christmas season. Take care.